This Muslim general has killed more Muslim ever. As one of the top brutal leaders in Mecca, this man supported and participated in the persecution of the early Muslims, where the Muslims was faced with torture, economic sanctions, and severe social isolation during their early years in Mecca. Meet Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, a prominent leader of the Quraysh tribe in Mecca, and initially one of the most significant opponents of Islam during the early years of the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, mission. His actions against Muslims were well known, particularly during the Meccan period and the early battles between the Quraysh and the Muslims. His presence contributed to the suffering of many companions of the Prophet, forcing them to seek refuge in Abyssinia and eventually migrate to Medina. He saw the rising influence of Islam as a threat to their power, status, and tribal traditions. Abu Sufyan played a critical role in the events leading up to the Battle of Badr. He was the leader of a caravan that was returning from Syria, and the Muslims, intending to intercept it, prepared for a raid. Upon learning of the Muslims' plans, Abu Sufyan changed his caravan's route and sent word to Mecca to raise an army. This led to the Battle of Badr, where the Quraysh army, led by leaders like Abu Sufyan, suffered a decisive defeat at the hands of the Muslims. After the humiliation at Badr, Abu Sufyan became one of the principal figures leading the Quraysh in the Battle of Uhud. Seeking revenge for the loss at Badr, Abu Sufyan mobilized a large army of Quraysh fighters. In this battle, the Muslims initially had the upper hand, but due to a tactical mistake by the archers, the Quraysh, under Abu Sufyan's command, managed to turn the tide and inflicted significant losses on the Muslims. This victory for Abu Sufyan was a moment of great triumph for the Quraysh. In the Battle of the Trench, Ghazwat al-Khandaq, Abu Sufyan was the overall leader of the coalition of Quraysh and allied tribes. His forces laid siege to Medina for several weeks, but the Muslims, under the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and with the advice of Salman al-Farsi, dug a trench around Medina that made it nearly impossible for the Quraysh to advance. Eventually, the siege ended in failure for Abu Sufyan and his allies. Abu Sufyan's staunch opposition to Islam continued until the conquest of Mecca in 630 CE. By this time, the strength of the Muslim state in Medina had grown significantly, and the Quraysh realized they could not withstand the Muslims. Abu Sufyan, seeing that resistance was futile, went to the Muslim camp to negotiate peace. It was during this time that he accepted Islam. Although his conversion came at a time when the Muslims were militarily dominant, Abu Sufyan's acceptance of Islam was sincere, and after converting, he pledged his loyalty to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Prophet forgave Abu Sufyan for his past opposition, showing the immense mercy that is characteristic of Islam. After his conversion, Abu Sufyan became a respected member of the Muslim community. He fought for the Muslim cause in later battles and played a role in the expansion of Islam. His son, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, went on to become one of the most prominent Muslim leaders, eventually founding the Umayyad dynasty. Make sure to subscribe if you have not. Jazakumullahu khairan.